Okay, I need to mow between my blackberries, obviously. And I've already done that once or twice, but I got to looking at all the little blackberries coming up. And if you have blackberries, then you're going to experience little shoots coming up a long way off from where you want them. So what I'm going to do, what I did the first time was just mow them down. I don't want them here, so I just mowed it down. So now what I'm doing is cutting them off. There's one. It's about 2 feet from the center of the row. There's one, and there's one, and there's one, and there's some about 4 feet. They're almost in the center of the drive-through here. The walkway. So what I'm doing is coming in here and clipping them off, ground level. I've got a pair of old-fashioned clippers. Anyway, I was going to use a knife, use those instead. Clipping them off. I'm separating them here in my tub because I have 4 different varieties here, and I'm going to propagate them, and I'm probably going to sell them, so I need to know exactly what kind of varieties they are, so I can be true when I label them. Truth in advertising. So just thought I would share that with you, and then I'll pot them up and show you that. But I'm going to go through here and clip off all my shoots that I don't want. Now I've got some huge ones that are coming up in the middle of these blackberries, but that's where I want them. I want them right in the middle of the row, and but I do not want them in my drive-through lanes here. So I am going to cut these off, and each one of these potentially is, I don't know, $4 or $5. Once they get rooted and everything, I put them in some half-gallon or gallon pots. I can probably sell the dog out of them. So that's what I'm doing. I will show you, come back later, and I'll come back in a minute for you. Come back in a few seconds for you, and show you potting them up and propagating them and such. Okay, I've got my cuttings now. I'm going to put them in pots. I was going to put them in under my misting system, but then I have to repot later, and I've got so many. I'm going to have so many of them that I just don't know that that's. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm just going to go straight to pots with them. Okay, let me show you my dip and grow. This is the rooting hormone I use, and basically you pour just a little of that. The package comes with a bottle of dip and grow and measuring cup, and I don't know whether you can see that little line right there, but it's about 1/8 of an inch up from the bottom of this cup. You pour about that much dip and grow in it, which is just that much, and then fill the rest of it up with water, and that's your measure. And I've done that. I did 4 of them because I wanted it in something a little bit more stable. Typically I'll do it in this, but sometimes it has a tendency to get knocked over because I like to work on the back of my pickup here. It's just a nice place to work, just getting the shade. So I did 4 of them, basically did that 4 times and filled up this little cup. It's going to be a little bit more stable working with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to go ahead and pull these leaves off. Just the bottom couple of them. I don't know that it really makes that much difference. Fill up a pot. Dip it in there. It's supposed to do it for 5 seconds. I'm gonna make a hole. Stick it in. Done. So very easy to do. That should start rooting. You need to keep it wet. Mist it several times a day, as well as keeping the soil wet, and that ought to start rooting in just a few days. Show you again. And I bought these pots at a nursery not far from here, 15 cents a piece. I thought that was a bargain. Let me show you a longer one. Okay, this is one of the shoots that was coming up probably out of the ground. I think I'm going to make 2 out of it because I do believe it can handle 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the leaves off the bottom. 5 seconds. What I typically will do if I'm doing a mass planting, if I'm doing in a if if I'm doing in a bed instead of individual pots, I'll take 4, 5, 6 of them, 10 of them, and put them down in there and do them at the same time, and then just put them down in there. So, but this way I'm doing it one at a time, so I'll probably dip one at a time. I may get creative here in a minute and do several pots, get several pots out here and do several pots at a time. But just to show you what I'm doing, I didn't get a pot ready, did I? Dip it. And it's done. Again, needs to be wet down pretty good. You can see they're already drooping a little bit. So, they've probably only been out of the ground for 20 minutes. Okay, I potted up about 100 of these things and I'm tired. Probably the thorned variety I have is a propagate, and the thornless, I didn't have very many of them. That's an Arapaho, and I've got some Quachita I need to do. I'm probably going to pot up some more of the thornless, the Arapaho, Quachita, but I think I'm done with the propagates. It's a vigorous growing blackberry, but gosh, I think this is enough. So, if anybody lives close, and some of you know kind of where I live, East Texas, and want to come from time to time before I mow and clip some of these things and get you some cuttings, PM me and we may see if you can come over and do that. I don't know that I'll be doing that many more of these. It's a chore, but I tell you what, each one of those plants, each one of those little buckets is probably going to be worth $5 or $6 someday. So that's $500 or $600 sitting right there that took me a couple hours. $250 an hour, that's getting close to what I'm worth. Anyway, you see my little sprinklers, my misters, and just a different misting head, but they do a pretty good job. They'll go out about 5 or 6 feet. And anyway, so I've got this, I've got the tarp down to kind of kill the grass and stuff underneath it. Just didn't really want to. This is kind of a bed that I put some strawberries in, but it's getting too much. I just got too big a tree right here. It's getting way too much shade. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to grow anything here, but it's perfect for things like this that you don't particularly want in full sun, because you want them to start taking root.